Moonjumper here with a follow-up to the video I just dropped on Sunday regarding the 2015 JEM and the Holograms live-action movie, which was based on the 1980s Hasbro cartoon series. By the way, this year, 2025, is the 40th anniversary of JEM and the Holograms and the 10th anniversary of the live-action movie. The cartoon was set in the same fictional universe as G.I. Joe and the Transformers, the Hasbro universe, and the live-action film was also tentatively intended to be set in the universe of the Transformers film franchise, but it bombed so badly that no one even knows that it exists, which is a shame because it's actually not bad. It at least has a plot, unlike any of the Transformers or G.I. Joe movies. It was a noble attempt and not that badly written. The musical talent displayed is fantastic, and it's even got a couple of songs I think still get some occasional airplay. I'm not going to rehash everything I just said in the previous video. I'll link that down below so that you can watch it, and it's less than 4 minutes if you want to get my general comments on the movie as background. But I do want to do a little follow-up with some thoughts I actually intended to conclude with, but it slipped my mind, and now it's eating at me, especially after I wrote a book about it in the comments, replying to a very nice gentleman who I'm sure probably thinks I'm insane. So let me just share those same thoughts with all of you now. A gentleman named Eddie says, "This movie came out and was gone so fast I thought I got the release date wrong." So I replied and I said, yeah, no kidding. I don't even remember hearing about it. I don't think it got any promotion at all. But one of the interesting facts about it is that it's a Blumhouse production, which is a tiny, almost indie studio. I mean, they've got a relationship, I believe, with Universal Pictures, and that's, of course, Universal is who distributed the JEM movie. But it's a small company, and they're mostly known for their low-budget horror films. So this is a movie that would be generally outside its typical wheelhouse. And that's not a bad thing. You want a studio that can do variety, but this is not their normal thing. They mostly do horror movies, and they do low budget movies. It only had a $5 million budget. $5 million with an M. $5 million budget. Not 500 million, not the typical $200 or $300 million budgets of these big IP movies. No, it only had a $5 million budget, like a TV movie budget, and it still lost money. Although it doesn't look anywhere near that cheap. The DP was a lady by the name of Alex Brooks, and she was working with John M. Chu, which, I mean, that's a big-time director doing a low-budget film. My understanding is this was kind of a passion project. I mean, he directed Crazy Rich Asians and G.I. Joe Retaliation. Chu and Brooks shot Wicked together. And Alex Brooks, she was just an incredible DP. She did wonders with her camera, lighting, use of colors. I mean, they had a tiny budget, but it looks, maybe not a huge budget movie, but a bigger budget movie, at least a moderately budget movie. It does not look like a $5 million movie. It looks like a very polished, beautiful looking film. This should have been pure profit. So I think where it went wrong, well, aside from the problems I mentioned in the previous video, where it went wrong was trying to release this theatrically when it should have been a TV pilot. It had a made-for-TV budget. It looks great on TV with a, as I said, very polished look, a lovely, I mean, the colors are good, the costumes are good. That's not DP related, but everything looked polished. Man, if I was a big-time movie producer and who have whatever DP I wanted, I'd want to hire Ms. Brooks. I mean, she's good. Nice big HD TV. It looks beautiful on television. And who knows, maybe it wouldn't look as good on an actual big screen, but I will say this. The screenplay, I strongly suspect, was written as a TV pilot. Not a bad one either. And when you watch it, it plays like a TV pilot.
I've had it. I'm done.
It plays like a TV movie intended to launch a television series. You introduce in backstory all the main characters, including the big bad, who by the end teams up with the Misfits and the Holograms, the sisters. You got two sisters and the two adopted sisters have solved their dad's scavenger hunt to construct synergy, and by the end Jerrica gets possession of her glowing sci-fi earrings. We know they possess some sort of great power. Our villainess clearly knows about that power and wants those earrings, but then the movie stops short of revealing what that power is. Wait for episode 2. Well, episode 2, or in this case a movie sequel, never came, and so we're just left hanging without the reveal of the main premise of the series, that Jerrica and her sisters have these really high-tech holographic powers, maybe alien tech holograms, or even Cybertronian tech hologram powers, and that's supposed to be left to the next movie. But it's not even, it doesn't play like a movie, it plays like a rather good TV pilot. It fails as a theatrical film, but I think it might have done well setting up a series on, for example, the CW or Sci-Fi Channel, which is owned by Universal, so that would have fit, or maybe even syndication. This was 2015, so this was still before everything became streaming. The theater was the wrong venue. It was clearly meant to be a TV pilot, and it would have been a show I think I would have watched. It had a very good setup for a TV show that never came, and then it was released as a theatrical movie, and it didn't stand a chance. It should have stood some kind of chance, because JEM, maybe it's fallen into a little bit of obscurity, but I mean, it was well known, it was popular back in the 80s. It should have had some amount of buzz, and there was none. What a waste, but who cares what I think? From deep in the heart of Texas, I am Moonjumper. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and by the way, check out my full-length episode 28, the Star Trek Multiverse musicals. Speaking of musicals, this was a musical show, and other random musings right here on Moonjumper Reviews. Who cares what I think? See you next time.
What I think.